Well, when I read the job application, I thought it was an opportunity to learn many new things.
I was looking for a work term that was close to home and like a familiar environment, something to get myself into the engineering field.
The expectations of me were relatively high, which is what I like, you know, when people expect you to perform at your max.
Working with Cummins was my first work term, and it set the tone pretty well for the rest of my work terms.
When they think about this place, they only see the vest. They see the red vest and they see working on the desk. But there's a lot more to this job than that. There are a lot of new things that you can learn here, a lot of technologies that you can use here that you just can't use anywhere else. My work term project was very challenging. I didn't have a lot of experience with a lot of the tools or a lot of the different languages that were required, so I had to teach myself that as I went over the work term. And it was a pretty big challenge.
I worked in several things actually. One of the major projects is the heads-up display project. It was an ongoing project. A work term student prior to us was working on it, and we just picked it up from where he stopped.
My task was to prepare a stats tracking tool for the library computers here. Basically, I had to write a tool that was able to diagnose, I guess, simple problems with the LabNet computers here by measuring statistics such as how often they were logged on per a given day. We also developed some statistics tools for the printers as well, using the same kind of metrics. The project was mostly web-based, did a lot of PHP, MySQL work, a little bit of HTML on top of that just to make everything look nice.
This project specifically was supposed to monitor our well devices that are used at the Commons. We have what's in excess of 60, 70 computers plus printers here at the Commons, and so we want to be able to know, well, the management wanted to be able to know how well these devices are doing without actually going physically there to see.
They purchase items from a store, let's say. They get a sheet of paper with all the information saying they bought it from such and such store and it cost this much money and they bought this many. And my project basically would take all the information on that sheet and it would allow the common supervisors to store that in a database so that they can look it up later at a future date. They can keep track of all their budgets and whatnot on the fly.
I guess the biggest challenge for this work term was familiarizing myself with these languages and getting to a state where I could actually program some functional code with them. Took a little while to, I guess, get used to the work I was going to be working with. But I would say I tackled the challenge pretty well. I was able to generate some worthwhile code within the first few weeks.
Working on this project required, I guess, either knowledge or the ability to learn how to use PHP, MySQL, a little bit of JavaScript, and some sound HTML.
This work term was nothing but beneficial. I picked up a lot of skills that I would, like I said, I would not be able to get otherwise. It certainly helped me out in my academic program. Like there's cases where I've used like the programming knowledge that I learned on this work term to the exact same implementation, I guess, and was able to apply that to my other projects throughout this academic term.
You're working in a very large team here, a lot of different things happening all at once. So my interpersonal skills grew because you had to be able to communicate and stay on top of things and interact with different people all at once.
They were very great at receiving you, very receptive, and even when you have one or two questions to ask them or just to relate with them as to what you're working on, they seem very interested in listening to you.
As well, I guess my experience with learning these programming languages has helped me out in other future work terms. On my most recent work term, I was in the same sort of situation where I had to learn this new programming language and implement some functional code within a relatively short period of time, and my experience at the Commons enabled me to do that.
A lot of students rule out this job because they see the red vest and they think it's like a Walmart job, and it's not like that at all. There are so many more opportunities here beyond that red vest, and I think students need to consider that. This is definitely a place students should consider working.